Yeah, we have the. Yeah, we have a commercial.
Old leather gloves, we're slapping in
Famous video. You have
hands.
it? I don't know.
Popcorn and peanuts, we're working the stands. Pink cotton candy, love on a stick. Was chasing the beer, the circle the lips, play ball. Play ball. Load up the bases and smack it right over the wall.
Play ball.
Play ball. Take off the caps. Time for the song. Red, white, and blue. We all sing along. An ace on the mound. He's feeling the seams. Staring him down. Looking real mean. Play ball. Play ball.
We're in.
Load up the bases and smack it right over the wall.
Play ball.
Play ball.
Hello, welcome to Laughter Saves Lives on Strong Island TV. I'm your host for the evening, John Santo. This is my co-host.
Frank Fiella.
I'm the social media guy today.
And your name
Pat
is, sir?
Marone.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Well,
Thank
they
you.
all know me out there. I'm famous.
This is backwards.
Steve Oliva, and I'm glad to be back here
The third wheel.
from my
Third wheel.
hiatus. From my hiatus last week. It's a good thing I had to.
You were banished to Bogeyland.
I was banished, but I was
happens.
very busy.
It's like being kicked off Facebook. You
was
got a
very-
week off.
Well, I took that week off to. I was very busy, so it wasn't like I had nothing else to do.
Did you go out and buy a new shirt?
That's what this is, buddy.
Yes.
I like that shirt.
Sears does have a T-shirt collection.
They do.
This is from the Chaz Bono collection.
The Chaz Bono
Yes,
collection.
thank you.
That's a
Reversible.
phenomenal shirt.
It's reversible.
It is reversible. Yes, thanks.
So one thing we always start off with is about our week. So why don't we start with Pat all the way at the end over there? Why don't you tell us about your week, Pat?
Pretty good week. I had 3 shows Thursday, and then I had a doubleheader on Saturday. I had fun. Regular, quite a couple good crowds. I'm looking at you. But it was fun. I did one with Les Deegan on Saturday night, and I did another show with Richie Ragu. I don't know if anybody knows him at an OTB. On the earlier
an
show on
OTB.
Saturday night. Yeah, I
OTB.
performed in an OTB. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Things are moving up.
They are.
And I was in a pizzeria
You
on
went from the bus
Thursday.
station.
Yeah.
You went from the bus station to
Went
the
from a
OTB.
pizzeria and
then
right
what-
up to OTB.
So you mean
And-
after
and OTB.
losing everything at OTB, you're actually working in the pizzeria?
Yeah, I don't gamble no more, so I didn't lose nothing.
Oh, that's good.
There you go. Do you gamble any less though?
No, I don't gamble.
So you were horsing around at this OTB.
I was.
Sorry.
Bum, bum.
It's just
I
too
love
easy.
the
It was
puns.
too
It's
easy.
too
You
easy.
love the puns.
How were you received by the OTB clientele?
They were good. They were over 50, over 60, so it's in my wheelhouse, because that's
What
my
were the
that's
odds
my
that you
crowd.
killed? 6 to 1? Did
No,
you hit the
everybody was
trifecta?
alive.
Did
Everybody
you hit
was
the
alive.
trifecta?
Yeah.
There you go. Yes. You
Now
did.
we know why you're not getting booked, Frank.
Yeah. However, not getting booked may be a step above the OTB. I'm not really sure. We have to work that out.
And how was your week, Frank?
Fairly uneventful.
Yeah, what a surprise.
Well, I'm married 20 years now. There's not a whole lot going on.
Every
I did a nice
day.
show. I did a nice show in Jersey on Friday. John Salerno from Laughter Saves Lives Texas division flew in.
Right, and we
And,
had the guest on last week. talking
Yes,
about-
Lauren was
Lauren.
on, and we raised some money for the Arthritis Foundation because most people think arthritis is old people, and although they do suffer from it, apparently a lot of young people have it as
Yep.
well. Lauren's son happens to suffer from it, so it was nice to raise some money for a good cause, and hopefully we can help
Phenomenal
find a kid.
turnout, right?
Oh,
Phenomenal
huge turnout! Huge.
Huge turnout.
There you go.
I,
And
I think it's great because brings some light to the fact that it's suffered by younger people, even though everybody at this table
It's not
knows
young.
darn well that it's suffered by old people as well.
Yes.
Older people.
Older people.
yes, older people.
people.
I'm pre-AARP, so.
I hear you, brother. It's not bad. Hey,
Listen, the day I retired from the police department, the next week I got something in the mail from
They know.
AARP. I'm like,
the
man,
AARP, they know.
they do.
They know. How was your week, Steve?
it's pretty good. I got a new TV,
What kind of TV did you get?
big 49-inch TV.
Did that annoying Fios kid pull up on his bike and ask if you had Fios when you took the TV out of the car?
He
I
did.
hate that kid.
He did, but I told him, look, there's a great show going on at OTB, so get the heck out of here. So, yeah. But I brought it back because I'm not going to name the brand because I don't want any lawsuits. We're on a tight budget here.
Yes.
Was it Samsung?
Yes, it was. But
Well, he didn't name it. You did.
but it was too. It was a nice TV. It was too bright. It was too bright.
You can adjust it.
I tried to adjust it.
Put your
and,
sunglasses on.
Oh, that's how I sit in my house usually with sunglasses to enhance the aura.
There's different modes like this
I
sports
did
Theater mode,
dynamic.
sports
everything.
mode,
I
did
theater mode.
dynamic.
because one of them is really
I
bright.
did.
that's-
I did creepy guy in the basement mode. I tried all different modes, and I brought it back, and I said, "Look, this is too bright." And he goes, "How old are you?" I says, "I'm over 50." He goes, "I understand." He goes, "We got one for you." So I brought it back. I got a 3-inch TV now.
Like the old,
I got
the
a
old furniture.
3-inch TV.
Right.
It's perfect, and I can watch all everything. And so I switched it out for another brand, and I enjoy that one a lot. I don't have a couch though, so regardless, I'm still watching it from my patio, laying
From your patio.
in a sleeping bag. Well, I don't want to look like a weirdo. At least if I lay down.
Right. At least you have a sleeping
At
bag.
least if I have a sleeping bag, it looks like I'm camping.
We got to get a mattress, couch company as a sponsor, and then we'll
There
get
you
you a
go.
couch.
Yeah, this cat needs a couch, so feel free. We'll give
Any
you-
sponsors out there for couches?
Right.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Right. Bob's Furniture. Are you out there?
Well, it's nice to see you back on the show.
Yeah, it's
Steve.
nice to have you back
Hey,
on the show.
it's good to be back.
And it's
guys.
it's a little sad we don't have John on the show with us today. You
Very
know.
sad.
It's interesting.
He's
Has anyone heard from him? Has
president.
anybody heard from
I've
him?
heard from him. He hasn't stopped texting
Hasn't
me.
stopped texting.
I'm trying to get here over here, but we have heard from him.
Well, I didn't talk about.
We missed John.
We missed John, but my week is exciting because I'm get to host the show with you guys.
Yes, yes. Well, it's
Right.
very
John
exciting.
Zaps. I played John before. I played John at film festivals.
I played John
I
at
pretend I'm John.
comedy shows.
Well, the difference
Yes, you
between
do.
you and John
That's-
is
you do a
the
good
only
job of
voice
it.
John does is
It's John.
John.
What
Yeah.
kind of show is this? It's a lot to say, John. What kind
It
of
sounds,
show?
like, it sounds more like Kermit the Frog.
No, he sounds like Dick
Well,
Vitale.
it sounds like Guy
What kind of
Smiley.
show?
Guy Smiley from Sesame
John, we
Street.
got you here, John.
Folks, if you don't know, John has a when he raises his pitch, when he exclaims something, his pitch goes up and it goes right into his nasal cavity clearly. And he's very.
That's when he wears
he's
those
very-
tight underwear.
He wears the tight underwear and that does it.
That was a phenomenal kid. I got to work on an impression of him, so when I do play him, I can really play him, you know.
Yeah.
Although I'm a lot fatter than he is,
Well,
so it's gonna be tough.
So now he's catching
He's
up.
physically fit.
catching up.
None of us are at all overweight.
Yeah,
This Facebook Live adds
Right.
150 pounds
150 pounds
to
easily.
each one of us.
Well,
But John climbs
I'm
stairs.
Oh no, Pat's overweight, but you know,
He's muscular.
Pat,
Don't
he's a
always
chef.
believe what John says.
He is a chef, Pat Marone, as
110
well as a
points.
comedian. So never
what they call
trust a thin chef. So
Now
Pat-
Right. Right. Never trust a thin chef and never trust anyone that drinks less than you do.
Hey, listen, tonight.
Shit.
Oh, there goes
What
the
are you
broken
doing?
mic.
Tonight, if anybody wants to call in or ask questions on Facebook Live, I'm manning the Facebook Live tonight. So if you have any questions pertaining to our guest, who's our guest tonight, John?
Frank, who's our guest
Tonight's
tonight?
guest,
we don't need John LaRocque.
Well,
tonight's guest is Arthur Lee. Arthur Lee is he invented a great device. It's called the Life Vac, and we're gonna have him on in probably about 10 minutes to tell us all about it. He's a lifelong Massapequa resident, and he came up with this wonderful device to help save lives. And we look forward to speaking to him in about 10 minutes.
a light vac.
We actually
Well,
have,
that's interesting because I know some of you guys are married, and I know your wife wants to kill you if you don't vacuum. So the
Oh, here it is.
life-saving
Right, I
part-
bought my wife a vacuum. It's still brand new.
our guest is Arthur Lee of Life
Use it.
Vac. I have it
Oh,
here.
Arthur. All right, Arthur.
We have a problem
we
though.
look forward to
John
you coming in, buddy.
John
You
just
call.
texted me. He said, "I'm not getting show. I see nothing."
Well, he's got to.
Because we blocked him on
Tell him he's got to
Facebook.
refresh his thing. That's
Right.
why it's not coming up.
John, refresh your screen.
Well, how are
we-
you going to tell him on there? He's not watching us. gotta
Excellent
text
point.
him
You
on
got to
it.
text him
You're
on
the
your-
social media man.
Oh,
Right,
I
you
don't-
got
I
to.
mean,
You're manning the
I have a
thing.
friend who's watching. Can I ask him?
You know, this
if he
guy's
sees
more
it?
trouble
Yes.
away from the
Rob
studio.
Lopez, Bob, great guy, New York City firefighter, a lieutenant. Bob, if you're watching, do you see the show? Can you post it on Facebook if you're watching?
If you can
Rob?
see the show, raise your hand.
No, we have 15 visitors. We have 15 viewers.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we have 15
Thanks,
viewers.
Mom. Thanks, Dad.
John's is just not text,
He probably didn't refresh
right now-
his Facebook.
Yeah,
He's
John
probably
is-
looking at his television in his hotel room.
He's in the hills of
Well, John-
Kentucky, I believe now. So chances are, I mean, from what I heard, nothing against my southern friends, but you know, the signal might be a little.
Well, we don't even know where he is, right?
Right,
He's
we
in
don't
a-
even know where he is.
He's on
Oh, we don't?
assignment. He's on assignment.
I
yeah.
got it.
He's on a secret assignment.
All right, so
He's probably outside his car.
what's going on in the world, guys? Come on.
Well, we got any page 5 news
We
today?
do.
Let's connect.
We do. We have a
What
little bit
are
of
we
page
gonna do? Which
5
one
news.
first? Which one first?
Oh, we have a few.
Let's talk about. We have a good one right
let's
here. It's
talk
very-
about this one.
Oh, the Montreal Marriott. I got to set this up as Casey Kasem because it's a music story.
All right, set it up.
Okay, all right. So, a Montreal man was ticketed for singing badly and loudly in his car. The man was singing the CNC Music Factory 1990 hit, "Gonna Make You Sweat." Everybody dance now.
I have no problem with that. Right off that
Right.
bat. Right off the bat. That song.
Well, that's a weird song to sing, but
Right.
All right,
um,
so
Especially
what
if you're going to
happened?
sing it badly.
What happened to him?
he got a $300. He got a $149 ticket, and then he argued
Well, we
the
have
ticket.
somebody calling in now, I think.
All right, but there's no.
So, but we're still reading the story. They'll have to
No
wait.
hold.
She told me if it was for singing it, I've given you a ticket for $300. So the cop had a sense of humor too. But I sing in the car all the time. I even make up my own lyrics. I even do impressions in the car. So I don't know what the law is. This is Canada. I don't know what the New York law. Well, what's the New York law?
There is nothing about singing in the car.
Alright.
However, you can, depending on how loud and bad it was, you may be giving them a disorderly conduct summons. No, I'm kidding about that.
I
Well,
sing,
what
in
if
the
I'm
car,
in the-
I sing in the car all the time.
You can,
Me too. But what if I'm doing if I'm doing my Trump impression in the car, and I'm just doing this and driving?
well, listen, with the way everybody talks on the phones, they would just think that you're
Right.
talking
I have
to your
no
Bluetooth.
problem. If
I
it
mean,
was
the craziest summons I ever wrote
Oh, yeah,
was,
what's the craziest
yeah,
one?
as a police officer in New York.
was it was for reading while driving. It's distracted driving.
Well,
it was before, no, not texting. It was before texting. The guy's driving.
Like
and
with
he-
a map? Is...
No, with the fucking
What, a paper?
with the newspaper open. Excuse my language. He's reading the newspaper.
Maybe he was reading the driver's manual.
No,
He
it was the
really
newspaper.
bad. He was brushing up.
It was the newspaper.
Would you ticket someone if they were singing that "Cars for Kids" song? Because I would impound the car.
I hate that song.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I hate that song.
I understand that completely.
That's
CNC
a-
Music Factory, how dare you? All right, that was my
Well,
form.
it's Canada. We don't know
Kicking
what
it
the-
around Queens.
Right,
I-
Canada. You know.
I mean, I love Canada.
I gotta be
but
honest with you. Nothing good comes
the
out
law-
of Canada, except my friend Amanda Lightstone. She came from Canada. She's
I
got
have a
people.
friend, Amanda, and not Lightstone, but in Canada.
If it was the
as well.
Cars for Kids song, you should have impounded the car, given him a $500 ticket, and given that car to someone who needs it. All right,
Oh,
we have a
John's-
call coming in. We're gonna.
Right,
we're
John,
gonna
I
take it.
think it's John.
Yeah, before we take John, let me ask you a question. If I
Ask
get
him.
pulled over as Trump, can I pardon myself?
I don't see why not.
I like that.
All right, now how do we get John on?
We got to get John on.
Well, I think they put
I
us
think
on.
they put him on. John, are you there?
Oh, John!
Oh,
scary.
he is.
My goodness,
John,
John!
Oh my God! Get a
Wow.
haircut.
John, are you okay?
John with his
You all right?
John with his best FDR haircut for the show.
Wait, what's it? What did
Can't
you
hear
say?
you.
Are you okay?
Can't tell anyone they are.
He's holding up a
listening.
sign.
He's being held
Oh,
hostage.
he's being held hostage. John,
He's
where are
being-
you?
Where are you, John?
Oh, he's giving us
He's
signals.
giving
it's
us Morse code.
Hold on.
He's
Hold on.
saying that, he's saying Pat is very cute.
John's apparently in a jam right now. He's giving us signals, or he hasn't.
giving
Right,
us
either that or he's having an epileptic seizure.
Yeah,
there.
he's-
I'm
They're
not really sure
translating
what's
it
going
for
on.
us. I'm in blink, blink, blink. We don't know the blink.
hold on,
we
that
don't know
means-
blink.
That means send a meatball palm
No.
hero dressed sauce in
Looks
the
like
sign.
he's in. Look at those curtains. They're hideous.
Right, they're worse than yours.
They're worse than my wife's
They're
curtains.
worse. Yeah.
They put me in a room with Santos curtains.
John, we can hear you. Just tell us where you are.
We'll come get you. They
Yeah, they
the-
left
They-
the room. So
Who's
tell
that? The
us-
cleaning people?
They left the broom. What is
The
that?
terrorists.
The cleaning people
They-
left. Time to pull your pants up. All right.
Wait,
Guido?
he's talking.
Blink, 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 blink.
Oh, okay, that means.
Help is on the way.
That means.
right.
Can you still get
I'm in the mountains
inappropriate
of
movies
Kentucky
on
somewhere. They're
motel?
feeding me terrible.
John, what can you tell us about the
What,
kidnappers?
what have they been feeding you?
If you know what I had tonight, lasagna, meatballs, baked ziti.
That
Not
doesn't
bad.
sound so bad. What made that so bad?
Why don't you let
It's
him finish
John
talking?
sauce. They're feeding me
Oh,
John
they're
John
feeding
sauce.
him John
Oh,
sauce.
there you
John.
Oh, the humanity.
We've got to get him.
John,
We've
if
gotta
you
arrest
want him to leave, play someone at this table's act for about on a continual loop. They'll leave.
What, John, what can you tell us about the kidnappers? Are they terrorists or are they just kidnappers?
No, they're very nice. They're like chipmunks and muskrats and stuff.
Chipmunks and
Can you
muskrats.
divulge your location?
John, we just lost about 11 viewers since you came on, so
Yeah.
It's the Keebler elves.
All right,
Blink,
blink,
we don't
blink,
know the
blink.
blink. You got it. Can anybody tell us what
Blink,
that
blink.
means?
Yeah, John. Only Stephen Hawking can pull that
John,
off.
can you do the commercial for us? Can you do the commercial for us?
Do
from
the commercial.
Skype?
We don't have the
Right,
commercial.
right. Can you blink out the Cars for Kids song?
Can you do the commercial for us?
He's got the
Which
laptop
one?
now.
Can you blink a
Famous
recipe for
Visions?
Pat's meatballs? Because we're trying to reach everyone.
All right, I'll find this.
Those curtains are
I
really ugly.
emailed it to you guys, you know.
We don't have it. We all looked. Nobody
I
has
gotta
it.
look at mine now.
I had a
So,
sift. I
so
had to
this
sift through
segment
that
is
email.
brought to you by
Famous
Famous
Vision.
Visions.
Famous Visions.
Famous Visions for all your printing needs. We do websites for printing, promotional product, custom apparel needs. Make sure to try famousvisions.com. A great way to get your business needs all in one place. Business cards, flyers, brochures, pens, pencils, forms, shirts.
Do they do
and
ransom
a
notes?
whole lot more.
Do they do
Famous
ransom
Visions
notes,
does it all.
John? Because they got to send
Make
one out for you
sure
right
to
now.
like them on Facebook and go to famousvisions.com marketing, or just go to www.famousvisions.com on the web. Make sure you mention you heard it from Laughter Saves Lives. I need to go.
They have to blink when they.
I have to do KP duty now.
Famous
I will hope-
Visions.
I will see you when I get back.
All right, John.
All right.
Thank you for
Have a good show, boys. Have a
visiting,
good
and
show.
I hope you come back to us soon, buddy.
Right.
He's
All
gonna,
right.
Take your
he's gonna
time.
fire
John.
us all.
Take your time, John.
We're all
your-
fired.
Put your contacts in you. You're twitching a lot.
They cut him off, the terrorists.
Yeah, they
All right, Famous Visions.
He was looking at ISIS.
Famous Vision. I'm glad he did that commercial.
He's
because
still on,
I was
man.
going to ad-lib it as an eyeglass store.
I was going to do the same thing.
I
was
had
gonna be
no
like,
idea.
Famous Vision, contacts
So-
and
right,
frames.
right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so
That was exciting.
All
that
right.
was exciting. Thank you, Famous Visions.
Thank you.
Is it-
We will hope to patronize your business. It
We have
sounds,
to call off. And
All right, we're gonna get
Steve
the-
Schlesinger says he can see it on his computer, but he can't see it on his phone.
Well, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a rotary phone. I mean,
Right.
that's the problem.
So,
Steve,
we're gonna
thank
give,
you, buddy. Thank
we're
you
gonna,
for
we're gonna
watching
be
us.
Thanks, Steve.
coming up with our guest momentarily.
You want to call him?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
call him. You have the number?
Pat's
Yeah,
got
I
to put
got
a quarter in the
call.
phone.
he's got
and,
the
Call him
number.
up now.
Tell us a little about our guests before we speak
Well-
to them.
Yes, go ahead, Frank.
Our guest is a lifelong resident of Massapequa. He was a business owner, and he sold his business, and he was going to retire, and he was going to work on his hobbies of woodworking, and he would make toys and custom toys and tree houses and stuff like that.
That's cool.
And apparently, he heard a story of a woman whose daughter had choked and unfortunately passed away. So Arthur began working on a device that would help victims who are choking. So as soon as we get
Is Arthur there?
Arthur,
I'm on the phone.
Hey,
Arthur,
Arthur,
hey,
how you
Arthur.
doing? How you doing?
welcome. So I was just giving them a little background about your business and how you heard the story of the woman whose daughter had passed away, and that you decided that instead of doing your hobbies in woodworking, you were going to create this wonderful device called the LifeVac. So give us a little background about that, and we'd like to hear more about it.
Well, I was watching a little bit about your show, and it was the, what are you going to do part that got to me. And when I heard the story of a child, same age as my daughter, and then I started researching how dangerous it is, how the Heimlich doesn't always work, and it was a what are you going to do moment. So I went in, and it was about 6 years ago now, and I experimented. I'm blessed that my dad's an engineer and my sister's a doctor. And I was able to figure out a very simple way to free up a clogged airway.
And now, when you were testing this device, how were you testing it to know that it would actually work on if you were using like a doll or a CPR type dummy? Like, how did you know it would now work on people?
Well, the foundational document that I worked on is called the Langhill study. And it basically tells you the forces generated by abdominal thrusts and chest compressions. So the initial tests were just force gauge. It just says what is the compression and the pull generate. And that's over 300 millimeters of mercury, which is about 3 times a normal cough or a good hard cough. So after we independently tested that and independently tested to make sure no air goes in on the downward push, so we don't push it in any further. And then we started a series of simulations. Basically a dummy, another dummy, cadaver, And the last publication in the medical journal that we just won presidential award for was actual saves. 2 of the 8 saves were documented and presented to the American College of Gastroenterology.
So, Arthur, I know that from my experience as I was a firefighter, so I had some training in dislodging objects that are stuck in an airway. For example, what you brought up before, Heimlich doesn't always work. That's the traditional technique that's been used. It's obviously a well-known technique. But I do remember that on pregnant women, for example, people that are maybe substantially overweight, you have to have a certain person to be able to perform the Heimlich. So those types of things are taken into consideration?
Yeah, well, one of the most recent save was at a cerebral palsy facility. The success of Heimlich definitely goes way down with a large person or someone who's pregnant. But it's most prevalent under 14 over 65. But with the evolution of the wheelchair, the Red Cross method of getting behind can't always be done. And, that came to me when a caller on a radio show told me about her mom with MS. So last week I just spoke at an MS meeting, and schools, the elderly and the neurologic conditions are really my passion because it's so dangerous and there's so potential for no option at all.
Now,
Can we show
does
it?
a person?
Can we show a picture?
He got a
They
picture
do have a
inside.
photo of it.
Oh, they have a photo of it?
Yeah, where is he?
They're
Pop it
gonna
up there.
they're gonna post it up there.
Okay.
Now, does the person have to be prone, or they can be seated? Obviously, they can be. Can they be standing? Is there a particular way that they have to be, or you just?
Well,
slap this on?
fortunately, the force generated, like I said, 3 times good coughs, hardest body can cough in a retch. The person who was just saved was in a wheelchair, so he can be sitting. We recommend protocol first, so Red Cross, American Heart, whichever you think's best. Most of the time, the person's going to lose consciousness by the time you get to the light back. But it can be used particularly on yourself. My dad's 83. He lives alone, and he's not doing any dive on any chair deal,
Right.
So he keeps it on his tray when he eats because you can just push it and pull it on your own face. So it can be used, in any position.
And where does the food go? It goes right up into the like a suction, right?
Can they put the picture on the screen, please?
Yeah, on 7 of the saves, it went right
Got the
into the
thing, you're not
mask.
clicking it
So
up.
essentially, Arthur, it's a suction device, is what it is.
It looks like a
sure.
plunger.
Yeah, it's a little plunger.
It's like a
It's
plunger.
little tiny
Yeah.
plunger.
Yeah.
Now,
Does it
My-
work on
My
toilets?
vision.
Pat asked if it works on toilets.
There it is.
there we go.
There it is.
Arthur,
Well, I like to say sink.
The sink. It'll work on the sink. There
it
you
is a
go.
multi-purpose
Toilet thing
tool.
gets
This is a
that's bad for
multi-purpose
business.
tool.
The sink I could deal with.
Arthur, would it dislodge one of Pat's extra large meatballs that he makes on a Sunday? Because I'm worried about that. I'm going for dinner at his house.
Actually, I'm thinking this is good for some of the comedians when they start choking on stage. They can
can
use
use
this
this.
They
when
could
they
be
start
hungry.
dying up there on stage.
Yeah, you can go up there with a utility belt,
well,
Frank.
you
This is
know,
a great
this
tool.
is
Well, you were an EMT.
When I
I was
first
an
came-
EMT. We've encountered this. I think this is terrific.
Now, what about the size of the face mask? Obviously, what's the youngest you can use this on? And obviously, the older age doesn't matter. But what's like the youngest, or is there adaptable face mask?
They all come with the 2 BVM masks, which you're familiar to. Same thing. It's the pediatric mask would cover up to the adult mask. We don't recommend it under 40 pounds. Obviously, if someone's going to die, you should use it. It's just that the force levels could use more study. But it does cover, all the way across the gamut of people.
No, I actually.
Arthur, you
Okay.
can take that picture down if you guys want. Arthur, I got a serious question. I'm sorry, John. I work with the seniors in assisted living. Are any of these devices, do they use them in any adult homes or anything, or are they allowed to? I
Yeah.
don't even know if you would be
no.
allowed to use it in there because there's so many state regulations, but have you ever
Well,
had
that's-
an experience of that?
Well, I've had experience with the misconception. Suction has been used for years, particularly in the elder care. We're in elder care all over the island, all over the world. We just had another 150 come on in the UK. It's basic life, you know that. It's first aid. So it could be in elder care, it could be in schools. The school in Florida is currently getting sued for not having it.
But not
So
have it.
It's a misconception. Yeah, because they were notified, they knew about it, they didn't get it, and I can't take it. The poor kid didn't.
Right.
The
Now-
kid didn't make it.
If somebody wanted to buy one, do you sell them individual? You only sell them to large facilities? You know, can this
No.
be purchased by anybody?
Most of the sales, it's www.lifehack.net, and the majority of our sales have been, you know, moms and dads like ours.
And what is it? What does this device cost?
$69 for the home kit.
$69, and if they mention this show, you'll give them a 10% discount.
Sure.
Absolutely. There you go.
I have one in my house, actually.
Do you?
Yeah, my neighbor gave it to me.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
Do you really
it's-
have one?
I really do, yeah. Yeah, I do. My neighbor told me about it, and I won't mention his name, but we could talk about it offline. He, I think, had a couple years in medical supply store in Massapequa, so you probably know who he is. And
Okay.
and he gave it to me. He, my neighbor across the street.
But you feel better having it, don't you?
I feel a lot better having it. I actually
Yeah, me
did
too.
the Heimlich a couple of times. I was an EMT and volunteer firefighter in Wantagh, and at the Sizzler
Oh, wow.
Steakhouse, I did it one time, and I dislodged it. Came out of the guy's thing, and it was the piece of steak or whatever. But this would, I had to struggle with the guy. Fortunately, it came
Yeah.
out, and this, I think, would have made that a hell of a lot easier because it's a lot different on a real person than when you train for it.
Was he
Absolutely.
Was he eating a Trump steak? by any chance?
It was
Well,
not a
it's
Trump
scary.
steak.
I mean, but now
You
what
know,
else?
in your
Mike,
mouth?
the happiest time is when I had the 15 volleyball girls running around in the summer eating and running around and laughing, and that's when I looked on my counter, and that was really the time I felt like I was really glad that I had it. It was scary. They're all laughing and goofing off, and I love them all.
Yes.
So
Now,
the
you
peace
said-
of mind thing is huge.
You say this can be used. You can do this on yourself.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now, it's a one-shot deal, I would imagine, right? Like once
Right.
it's
Is this
used,
Yeah,
reusable?
well-
or,
It's not
or
reusable.
It's got to
right?
be reusable. It's got to be reusable, right? Arthur?
Yeah, technically, I have to say it's a one-shot deal.
Yeah, it's a one-shot deal.
Well, hopefully only the one
I
time you'll
made
have
it.
to use
I
it.
made the plunger to last forever. I'm not a slam guy.
So it's
The plunger, the light vac itself has a ball valve, not a rubber valve, so it'll last for 1,000 years.
But
Because I didn't want you to go to use it when buy it when you got a kid and it chokes in college. It'll still work. It'll work forever.
But it's not anything safety related. I think even if it's successful, it's a one-shot deal.
all right, Arthur. We want to thank you for having for coming in show to tell us about this. Can you
guys
give us
are
your
awesome.
website and one more time how to purchase one of these?
It's www.lightvac.net, and you guys are wonderful men, and I love what you do and who you do it for. So I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you
thank
so
you
much,
for doing
Arthur.
this.
Thank you for this invention. Wonderful.
Thank you. It
Thank
sounds
you,
like a
Arthur.
great
Yeah.
invention.
Thank
Best
Save a
of luck,
life.
Arthur.
I mean, amazing, right? Something you
know,
kind of overlook it.
That's
How
amazing.
simple and yet
It's like
how
an ambu
effective.
bag, but in reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's what it is.
that suction, right? Like that's always been as opposed to when you're trying to remove a large object. Suction was always something you could do, but not the first thing you did.
Right. It's
know?
like a last resort type.
Yeah,
thing.
like an infant, God forbid, or so. But that is it's practical and it's.
Well, the
it's
reason
not-
why you did the suction on the infants is most infants are not actually choking. It's the formula or the phlegm
Right.
if they're,
Right.
they're
Right.
congested.
Right.
So you wouldn't use something like this on an infant because you're really not pulling any
Right.
Right, farm.
But when you have like a toddler or that starts putting
Yeah.
stuff in their
Yeah, like
mouth,
above 2 or something, or 3, whatever they
anytime they start. But this is what a great device.
Stands to
and,
reason it's practical.
It's really practical.
Because not everyone knows the Heimlich.
right,
Right.
right.
But there's signs posted everywhere on how to do it. But that might be the first time someone sees it.
Yeah, but do you want to do like the Heimlich?
You'll
on
never
a lot
need
of
it.
People, this is better.
Well, I mean, I would think this is much better. I just, you have to. People are panicking, and now you're coming up and sticking this mask in their face.
Right. Well, in New York City, they probably think
you know.
you're assaulting them if you.
But
try the
you'll
Heimlich.
never need it for when you're eating Trump steak. Am I right? Because it melts
No,
in your
the,
mouth.
the
Right.
Trump steak melts in your mouth. It's totally safe, believe me.
You got an obsession with Trump steaks, huh?
Yes.
Well, they're delicious.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So once
And
again,
they were
thank you,
only
Arthur.
available at Sharper Image, but not anymore. You can
All right,
get them everywhere.
so
You have any?
we're gonna call. We're gonna. There are not too many interesting things people are calling in, writing in on.
Do
But
we have any?
we are gonna call Steve,
Steve
Schlesinger.
Schlesinger.
and I don't know what we're gonna talk to him about, but we're gonna call him.
Fishing.
Steve
Fishing.
is
Oh,
going to. We're going to talk to Steve about fishing.
Are we gonna
he-
do the recipe first or the Steve Schlesinger?
why don't we do the recipe first?
Yeah, recipe,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, that's
This is
your-
democracy.
that's
This is
your
a great
cue.
show.
Right, it's a democracy. We just
We
decide.
just decided out what's.
recipe. Meet the balls.
It's going.
All right.
It's coming.
Once again, the food
Oh,
theme
there,
rises its head.
Ooh.
Oh, these are maroon.
Oh, these are Pat's meatballs.
This is Pat's segment. Take it away,
Marone.
Pat.
Trump steaks to Pat's Marone's Italian meatballs.
Well, I used Trump chop meat, I think. No.
Oh, delicious.
Well, there you go.
Pork,
love
veal, and
that.
beef. Well, that didn't stay up there long enough.
Now, did
Nobody-
these come with a life? Did these come with a life vac?
You know the recipe by heart.
Oh, they cook very
No,
quickly.
not about that,
They
I
cook
just-
very quickly, the Marone meatballs.
Oh, they
They're
got other
delicious.
stuff. The preparation time he's gonna put up there next.
Yeah, he's
There we
Right.
go. Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, he's putting them. Yeah, that's the ingredients. And then after you get the ingredients together, then you go to the preparation part, and all that.
So how do you prep your meatballs?
I put the pork, veal, and beef chop meat in a bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I put some. I put two. Well, it's 2 pounds. The recipe calls for 2 pounds. I whip up 2 eggs. I beat them up before I put it in there.
Now 2 pounds, so it's a one person
1 egg
meal.
per pound.
It's a
One egg per.
one-person
It's
meal.
one giant meatball.
Well, maybe for you. And then I put a little bit of pomodoro tomato sauce into my.
Interesting.
Pomodoro tomato
Yeah,
sauce.
put
Never
like
heard
a
that.
3/4 cup of that in there. Well, I don't put the fresh garlic or the fresh onion in there. I put it in with the flavor of the with the tomatoes, so there's some in there. But sometimes you could saute up a little bit. I don't like to put raw onion or garlic in there, so sometimes you can take it off the screen now. So what I do
Oh,
is
there's
Hey,
Pat.
we got
Look,
it.
there he is.
Oh, look at him.
There's Pat rolling his balls.
Look at the joy. That's actually John Santos' delivery. He just called that in.
and that's me frying my balls.
Oh, very nice. Look
You
at
take
the
a lot
joy.
of. You take a lot of pride in your balls.
Yeah, look at the joy.
So you
in
fry
that
them
man.
before you put them in the sauce.
But the rest of the stuff I put, like I'm saying, I put the pomodoro sauce in there. I put Italian breadcrumbs in there, some fresh parsley, fresh basil. It's
Look at-
basically
look at
simple.
that.
Yeah,
Delicious.
Oh my
that's it,
God.
yeah. That's an actual picture of them too. That was
very
on
nice.
Ideal Chef. We had a photographer come in when I made it for him,
And he photographed
and
your
I
balls.
was also a finalist in U.S. Food's next top product. So they were going to use my meatballs as a product, but you had to get all the popularity from the Facebook votes
Right,
and stuff
right,
like that.
right.
And I have no friends.
Now,
so
you have-
So
Now,
your
is this a family-
balls.
Is this a family recipe or is this something you
It's
came
my
up on your
recipe.
own?
Working in the restaurants, I came up with it. We played around. Some people put milk in the meatballs. Some people put.
I've seen squash bread in the
Yeah,
meatballs.
yeah.
The bread.
So-
My grandmother used to
Not
do that.
bad. Then it's got to
No,
be
no.
right. It's got
Well,
to be right.
listen.
I liked it.
like when
Well,
you
no,
make.
she lived
like
to
when
be
you make.
100, or so we think.
Like
so
when you make
she did
meatloaf.
something right,
Like when
we're
you
not
make
sure.
meatloaf, you put ketchup in it, right?
Who does that?
People make meatloaf. They put ketchup.
I
on
grew
it.
up with
sorry to
my
hear that.
Irish mom, baby. Ketchup.
Oh, we have
Ketchup
some
was a
samples.
staple.
Huh?
We have Pat's meatballs. They're gonna bring them in.
Are they really?
I wish.
Oh.
I always wanted to say that.
don't
though.
do
Well,
that.
they just
We
don't
don't have that kind
Ship
of.
them to
John-
pizzeria next door.
John goes crazy for my meatballs.
Folks,
when
those meatballs are delish.
Yeah.
Pat, you voted what? Top 10?
It was top 10, yeah, top 10 out of thousands of people, yeah.
How did you get involved in cooking?
I started off as a kid. I was dishwasher. I worked my way up, and at 15, I was in the kitchen doing dishes.
You
And I wasn't
voted-
Mexican. I was.
You
Well, that's
voted
interesting. Since I retired from the fire department, that's what I'm doing. So
top 10 out of
Washing
thousands
dishes?
of people.
dishes.
Yes. Top 10 food product. It wasn't just meatballs. There was everybody would have.
Oh.
There was like desserts and everything. So I was in the top 10. Finally.
That is unbelievable.
It was
Pat.
terrific. It was
Unbelievable.
terrific.
What do you think the Sopranos would have thought of his meatballs?
Let me tell you something. His meatballs are a lot better than Artie Bucos. I can tell you that right now.
What about Carmela's baked ziti?
Way better than Carmela's Big Ziti.
Now,
Do it in your bacalao voice.
Way better than Carmela's Big Ziti. I mean, you go to this sauce is too watery.
But yeah, that's it. John wanted to put the recipe up this week because he likes my meatballs, And I also have a Sunday sauce video, which I show how I make the meatballs on my Sunday sauce video.
Is all that
Now-
going to be available?
It's on
the-
YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, do you
well, we
just
should
make
post the
meatballs
link
on the
to
Sunday sauce,
Huh?
or do you
to the show.
or
I
you
make the meatballs on the Sunday
or
sauce.
Do you do anything else besides the meatballs?
I put sometimes I put short ribs. I put
In the meatball, short rib meat.
Let's back up.
no short ribs.
No, just a short rib recipe.
And in my Sunday sauce, I put like short ribs.
Ooh,
I
delicious.
put some country ribs in there, the beef short ribs, country ribs, and a sausage. You know.
Folks, if you're listening, everyone is invited to Pat Marone's house for dinner on Sunday.
Yeah.
So just sign up on his Facebook
Right, go
page.
check out his YouTube.
And yeah,
And you'll post in the comments for the show the recipe maybe, because I can see my one friend now. He's like, "Hey Santa, that guy with the meatballs, can I get the recipe?" And this way I can just refer him right there. Don't
We
have to
could just
bother
put it
him.
right on. He tell him to go and watch my Sunday sauce video. I got 116.
Put the link. Put the link. Let them know.
116,000 views on there. Actually, Bill Burr, the comedian, if you guys know Bill Burr, he watched it. He watched it and he talked about it on
and
his
he's
podcast.
an Irish guy. He loves them.
He talked about it on his podcast. He really watched the whole video because he talked about us in the video and stuff. And it got on Redid, and I got like extra 5,000 views and people saying Bill Burr sent me. I'm like,
Bill Burr sent
Bill
me.
Burr. I said, how the hell did It was pretty cool. It really was.
That's awesome.
By a famous comedian, and he was watching the video.
That
so it was
is
really
awesome.
cool. Yeah, it was
That
cool.
is awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
What time is it? 8:40.
8:40. You want to call Slush? Or?
Yeah, call
Let's call
Schlesinger.
Schlesinger.
The man that likes to dangle his rod.
Pat, just so you know, Pat,
Yeah.
just so you know, Louis C.K. gave me a thumbs up on my 7-Eleven microwave burrito.
Oh,
So,
Hey, wait a second. Did we?
you know,
Where's Tummy Tickle? We didn't have Tummy Tickle today this week, did we?
no.
No. We had Pat. Okay.
All right, here we are. John,
What's
Steve, you
up?
on there?
I'm here.
What's up, Steve? What's happening, brother?
Let me take the volume off. I don't know if that messes.
Yeah, turn your
Yeah,
volume
what's
down.
up,
You're
in
like the
background.
callers on
background.
You're like the
Turn your
callers
radio
on
down.
FAN, yeah.
It's such a professional radio.
I should just cut them off like Francesca does. Just zap
Yeah.
them, just push the button.
Bobby and Babylon. What's
But Steve's a great
Nothing
guy.
much.
Steve Slush is the
told
best.
me they're going to call you. We're going to talk about fishing, I believe.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, I understand that
But
you
Steve,
are
let's
a
give
licensed.
Steve, wait a minute. Let's give you a little intro. Anybody know who Steve Schlesinger is? Give him an intro, a nice intro.
We don't have anything for
We
him.
don't have anything for him.
Wait, this is
Well,
a,
anyway,
this is a
Steve,
surprise.
I'll give you the intro.
Well,
Steve
you guys,
Schlesinger.
I'm a stand-up comedian.
I was just
with you
gonna give it
guys
myself.
every
I
now
know
and
you,
then,
Steve.
And,
Let him plug himself.
what's that?
I was just going to say that. Let me plug you.
Yeah, this way.
Steve Schlesinger is a fine comedian. He's actually a big-time fisherman. He does surf casting. And we talked about his funny story the week before. He was actually supposed to do a Laugh to Saves live show. But instead, he didn't realize he was doing it, and he was doing a Facebook Live of him surf casting. So his fishing is his passion. He's a great guy. Let's give it up for Steve Schlesinger.
hey, Steve, the fisherman
Hey,
and the
Steve.
comic.
Now, I understand
Thank
you're a
you, guys.
licensed. You teach fishing. What does that exactly mean? Like you teach fishing?
I am a licensed New York State fishing guide. I am a licensed by the state to be a fishing guide. I am legally allowed to teach people how to fish at the water's edge on New York State waters.
Is this freshwater or saltwater? Or both?
Both. I
You
can
can
go
do both.
from a beach and I can go from lakes, ponds, rivers, and streams.
Interesting. And when did you start getting this interest in fishing that you decided you wanted to go out and be like a guide and a teacher?
Well, I've had a passion for fishing since I was a baby.
Since you were a
I've
baby?
been crazy about the ocean, the water, the fish since I was a baby. So that goes back. But I started begging my father to go fishing. You know, he would come home with, like sacks of bluefish and striped bass and porgies. So I started to beg him to take me fishing. I don't know. I was a baby.
Now,
So
can I
it's
ask
been
you a
in
question?
my blood for a long time.
Steve, I saw guys fishing off of Montauk when I was out there, and they were in the water fishing right off the shore there. What
Well,
kind
you would fish, yes, in the water.
in the water there? What kind of fish?
Unless you're
Yeah, you usually do
Unless
go
you're at
fishing
the,
water.
like
Thanks
the,
for telling us.
I mean, they
amusement
were-
park where
they
you're trying to
were-
get one of them golf balls to
no,
get
what
the
I mean
goldfish.
is they were standing in the water like they were out.
Yeah,
in
well,
the-
They're
surf
surf kids.
casting.
They're on the rocks out there.
Right,
So-
that's
Yeah,
surf
I don't know
casting,
the
Steve?
terms.
Well,
That's why I have
you
to
stand
guess.
on the
Steve,
rocks and
Steve,
stuff.
tell us
A river
little bit-
runs through
Steve,
it.
obviously
Wait,
you're dealing with a panel
wait.
of outdoorsmen here.
Right, that's a good question. Steve, tell us a little bit about Montauk. Can be crazy. You ever fish on the rocks off at Montauk?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about
Right.
it.
So I was going to say it looked dangerous.
Well,
What kind of
I
fish
mean,
do they have there?
Montauk, this is what I like to say about Montauk fishing. Montauk, there's a lot of fish in Montauk.
That's good to know.
Excellent. Thanks,
Hey,
Steve.
Steve,
So,
we could have
Montauk,
told you that.
the end all of fishing.
Steve, the water tipped us off on that. But
I tell you, thank God John picks intelligent
Now,
guests.
Steve, what do you like better? Do you like the fresh water or the salt water? Because I have my buddy likes to go out to
Lot of fish.
Connecticut or whatever you call that there on the island, and he does. He likes the fish in the stream. What do you like?
Well, my personal favorite is catching striped bass from the surf.
Okay.
But I fish for anything, anywhere, anytime. I've been actually in that area on the river fly fishing. I've fished
John
all around the
Santo
world.
loves striped ass.
What do they fish for in
What's that?
Montauk? Like they were pulling major stuff out of the water. What?
Shark fishing.
Oh, well, that's the
No,
original.
they fish for stripers
that you're talking about, Steve. I just read something about him recently. Frank Mundus was the famous shark fisherman out of Montauk that the movie Jaws was fashioned on his
that's
character. Is that right?
That's absolutely true. I actually met him when I was a little kid.
Now you know
It
what's
was like,
interesting.
for me, it was like meeting Babe Ruth.
Of course. I mean, I'm not a fisherman, but I heard of him, and of course we all know Jaws. But
Not a
you know
comic
what was
either.
interesting? is he actually?
Like one OTB, and all of a sudden you're too big for your britches.
I'm sorry, Pat's rolling off his big appearance at OTB.
It's hard to compete with that.
Yeah, it's hard to compete off. Now you're a comic, Steve. You understand, but I appreciate the fact that you have this passion and you have a license, and they do license people to deal in the wildlife. I mean, Pat's not a licensed comic; he still does it. So
Oh my God, he's got 12. There's 12 people watching.
No, but
What's the
we're in
difference?
syndication in
Right,
Belgium.
right. We're in syndication.
and they're just
Steve,
on to see you,
But now,
Steve.
Steve, you want to? My understanding is you want to take us out fishing one Sunday morning.
No,
Now,
thank God.
would this be shark
Thank God he
fishing?
doesn't
Would
have
this
a
be boat
license to
fishing?
do that.
we'll sign a waiver. Don't worry.
Wait, what was it? I'm not going on any. I'm not going
Right.
fishing.
You want to take us fishing? Are we going to go in a boat?
We are huge in Europe, guys.
Yes. Fishing in Europe. I'm not really sure what that
Okay,
means.
Steve, I'm going to ask you the question people have probably always asked you. What's the biggest fish you caught?
And tell the truth.
The biggest fish I personally ever caught.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not a trick question.
Right. It's
It's not a trick question. We're not trying to stump
It's a
you.
fish. What's the
You know what it is,
hugest
guys?
fish?
Every now and then I don't hear what you guys are saying.
Oh.
It's like everybody stumbles on it.
Yeah, but
Well,
you,
I
you
miss-
can lie. You can lie. When nobody's gonna. You don't have to prove it. So just say like a 55 pounder or something. We'll go with it.
right. A great
Well, the
white.
biggest striped bass I ever caught was 48 pounds.
Okay.
Very
Okay.
nice.
Nice.
Well,
Now,
Steve,
do you catch and release? Or you take it home and cut it up and.
I try to release most of my fish, but I definitely keep one every now and then, to take home and cook nice and fresh.
So all right. So here's a question. I'm sorry, Pat. So when you release the fish and you catch another one, how do you know you didn't just catch the same fish?
Usually
Oh,
they would have
now
like
I can
a
tell
little
why
hole in
just-
their mouth.
why Frank was a
Most
cop.
fish don't have a bite the second time.
Well, these are
They
the things that
usually-
people want to know.
He just says that because he arrested the same suspect in New York about 10
Right.
times when he was a cop.
Well, because here's the
That's
other
right.
reason, Pat. If we wait for you to fill in the last 15 minutes, we're going to be waiting a long time.
listen, Steve. Let's get on to bigger and better things. Thanks for the fishing. I'm not because John wanted me to ask a question. How was the St. Albans show? Talk a little bit about the St. Albans show. John just texted in because he's interrupting us because he's a
Oh,
control
that was
freak.
an awesome. That
Well,
That's
was
it?
an
It was just awesome?
Experience. That's always fun.
how did you tell us a little bit about it?
Who was on it?
Of course, those guys, they appreciate us being there. I had the guys coming up to me. They were asking me to take their picture with them. It's such an honor and a privilege to, entertain those guys, especially after what they've done for us, serving our country and, to just, they're there, they can't really go in there. Most of them are kind of sick. And it's
Right.
just,
For most people,
and also,
they
you know,
don't know
other-
the St. Albans is a veteran show. It's a hospital for the veterans in St. Albans, and
And they're all elderly.
a
and we
lot of them
wheel
have no
down.
family. There's a couple of I believe there's one or two
Yeah.
World
It's
War
a-
II vets still.
It's a
Yeah.
great, it's a great show for you to do, Steve. It's a great thing you're doing. And John usually sends the comics.
I
that
tell you, I'm so glad I had the opportunity to do it. It was
And-
like I said, it was like anytime John asked me to do that, I jump at it.
Well, John usually asks the comics that are not that strong to do that show because he can't.
Pat's done it 6 times.
Let me tell you something. I've seen Steve. He's phenomenal.
He's very good. I'm
He
joking
made me
with him.
wet
I
my
love,
pants at
I
that
love,
show.
I love Steve. He's a good guy.
Steve is terrific.
He's huge.
Steve, you keep this up. Pat will co-headline with you at OTB next week.
Or the pizzeria.
Hey, Steve, I'm looking forward to
I'm just
working with
letting you guys
one day.
break my chops.
No, any show is a
Josh.
good show, right?
Absolutely.
Any show is a good show.
Hey, you done 8 minutes. You did a little over 8 minutes here, so it's pretty good. You know.
Yeah, but he only spoke for about 10 seconds.
Steve, as
7 and a
first
half
time,
tight.
as novice fishermen, which I'm going to assume all of us are, because Frank asked if you ever catch the same fish twice.
Oh, I don't know if I could talk about fishing right now. I'm so wounded. My comedy's been so wounded. I'm in pain right now.
Actually, I have a question about fishing. I was on a fishing boat years and years, about 20 years ago, and I kept pulling up a crab. And
Was it the same crab over and over?
Over and over again, same crab. Son of a bitch, and I couldn't catch anything, right? So I took the crab, and the guy goes, "You got to throw it back," but I left it on the boat. And he goes, "You got to throw it back." I'm like, "I will." At the end of the trip.
Because you didn't want to keep catching.
I don't want to keep catching it. I don't care, but I didn't say I had to be alive to throw it back.
Well, I got.
That was
you
my
s- so
Sicilian
you
to make.
suffocated
I
a
got.
crab.
I got
if you
a
had
funny.
a guide,
I got a
he
funny
would've
story
made you.
about a crab.
Nah, I threw it back.
My friend, when we were kids, we used to go crabbing. I'll tell a quick story. And he took the crabs one night, and he didn't have that many, so he put them in a bag in the refrigerator. So his father, may he rest in peace, used to get up in the night. And he was looking for a midnight snack. And he put his finger in the bag. He got bit. He was screaming at him, and he got bit by the crab. He wanted to kill him. But I'll never forget that story. That was the big crab
Same
story.
thing happened. Listen, that happened to me at Red Lobster last week. You got to watch them.
I'm a
But
lobster
no, that is
fisherman.
terrible. No,
I've
listen.
gone lobster, and it sounds, take that one over there, right there. Third one on the left.
Well, Steve, thank you for being on, and thank you for John wants to thank you for running the show. He said you did a great job, and thank you for being a good sport on all our jokes. You're a terrific guy, and I don't know why I'm taking over. I'm sorry, but John
you do
keeps
that.
no, because John's texting me. I'm sorry.
Oh,
guys.
John said,
I'm
well, give him
not
social
trying to
media.
interrupt you, but he's
Steve,
texting.
if
Don't
this
worry
show was
about
if this show was a
Somehow we
fish,
lost
would you
you there
throw
for
it
a
back?
minute.
What got? What?
We got to let the guests talk, at least for a second.
He left.
He hung up. He left about a. He left
He got
20
so
He
frustrated.
left 20 minutes
We
ago.
gotta let the
He
guests-
realized
I thought he'd never shut that.
We
hell up.
got to let
Oh
the
my
guests
God,
talk.
guys, this is amazing.
Oh, there you are.
There he is.
I lost you guys for a second.
I
This is
thought he'd never
amazing.
shut that-
Watching
oh, he's
this,
back.
and it's just
We
amazing.
can't get rid of him. Get out of here.
Steve, we're up against a hard
guys-
stop.
you guys
Steve,
really-
but that was a hard break.
You did it all for all 12 of us. I appreciate it.
Steve,
It was awesome.
None of us are ever going to work again in radio.
take care, brother.
Nobody's
We don't work in
working.
radio now.
Thank you, Steve, and we hope you love our cast.
Right. We hope you never catch the same fish twice. May you.
hung up.
An old Chinese proverb. May you never catch the same fish twice.
We are the absolute worst to the guests.
Well, let me
We
just
really
tell
are
you something.
terrible.
I wasn't interrupting you.
I apologize.
We don't know what you were
I
doing.
apologize.
That's
But
the dog.
Getting
Johnny
direction.
is such a control freak.
Even
he
when
wants,
he's not here,
running,
he's here.
he's running it from home.
In fact, give me the. We should put the.
We-
in this seat. That
Ask him
was-
about this. Tell him, I mean, he's crazy. This guy.
He
is.
no, but he.
Right
this
now-
is his show, and he's very passionate about it, and he wants
Right
to.
now, our host.
crazy. I just want my show to run smooth when I'm gone.
He's probably calling.
Just like when you're doing a show, he calls up. He goes, "Pat, you there yet?" John, the show's 8 o'clock. I've been there. Oh, we got a caller.
It's John LaRocca.
Who is it?
Can maybe you can do the famous visions.
Who's the caller?
Once again,
John
brought to you
LaRocca.
by Famous
Well,
Visions
we
for
only
all
have-
your printing needs.
We only
Folks,
have
stay
3
with
minutes.
us. We have,
We have a
5 or
caller?
10 minutes left.
We have to. No, we have to. We
4
have.
minutes. We're gonna wrap it up.
We have 2 shows to promote. 12/8, the FDNY family. We need to post a flyer for that.
All right. I don't know if we have it.
We don't know if we have it, but if we do,
He
we'll
might have
see
it up on the window. There it is.
But on
Well,
December
he
8th,
put
we
it
have
up. He
it.
put
Oh, there
up,
it is.
yeah.
There it is. Who's on that show?
No, that was last week's show.
That's
was
the
last
upfront.
week.
Oh, that's all right. So
No worries.
that's all right. So we got last week.
There you go.
That's
Angela's
Mom's Gone
House
Wild.
is December 1st. That's the
Mom's Gone Wild.
show.
That's December 1st.
It's the arrow button on the left. Click that,
We
please.
never talked about last week's show. It looked like you had a good time.
Oh, we had a great time.
He talked about it before.
Oh, I wasn't
We
paying
can talk
attention.
about it again if we
It
have
was
time.
brief.
I
It's
wasn't paying
Steve
attention.
Schlesinger's Comedy
Like
and
my
Fishing
cousin.
Expo. We're all going to be on with Steve. The
So we-
great Steve.
So we have 2 shows, or 3 shows coming up. 12/1 is the Mom's Gone Wild. 12/8 is FDNY family show, and on March 28th next year, 2018, Gotham Comedy Club FDNY show. Very important shows. LaughterSavesLives.org. Upper middle of the page, events, and all the shows are there.
Oh, John finally tuned in. He said John Soroki's well, he's finally in, you know.
Is John okay? Is he in Kentucky tied to a moonshine?
is he calling in?
Calling in?
Somebody's
operation?
going in.
Maybe we could do famous visions for him.
Hello?
It's John from Vivid Vision.
Hi. Welcome to the show.
It's John again.
John.
Blinky.
John, what happened? Somebody poke you in the eye?
John, can you do that famous vision commercial for us again?
He's calling to tell. He's like, you are fired.
Right.
Fired.
I got it.
Oh, he
Get
ain't
Santo out of my seat.
He said you
He's a
choked.
horrible host.
He's saying you guys
You
choked.
guys choked.
Someone's
You
getting John
suck.
in a headlock. He didn't tip the cleaning
Absolutely
lady again.
suck. Get him off my
You
show.
know what he
Get
looks
all the
like? You know what he
cast.
looks like? You ever go to one of those carnivals and you got to shoot the water into the clown's
Oh, and the
mouth?
clowns.
He can't talk.
Okay, John, let's hear what you have to say.
He's speaking in Italian.
Yeah,
this
the,
show
the
sucks.
audience really wants to read sign language at 9:59
He's
at
telling us
night.
to shut up. I heard shut up.
Numero
John,
tres.
hold up one finger if you're doing well.
Bloomberg.
He's like, goodbye. This is your last show. Pack up your shit when you leave.
Right.
Get out of my seat.
I got 4 more people. Don't worry, we got 4 more people.
Well, I just want to say recently, how much time we have left?
Well, let's
Like
give
a
another
minute.
plug
This
to famous visions.
Yes.
Oh, wait. The bull escaped.
Well,
We
yeah,
didn't do
tell
the
us
bull
quick.
story.
Pat, there was a bull
A bull.
in Brooklyn, your old borough of work as a police officer,
Yes.
that escaped
However,
from a
lost
slaughterhouse and
Bullshit.
was captured in Brooklyn by the ESU cops. Occasionally that does happen. He ran to Sunset Park. He escaped from Sunset Park, ran to Prospect Park. He left there because he figured Prospect Park very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Might
there.
be better in the slaughterhouse. So
Yes.
he headed back in the slaughterhouse. They tranquilized him and released him to an animal sanctuary
In New Jersey, they took
in
him.
Now-
New Jersey.
What
which
are the
I
od-
think is
What are the
great.
odds that they'll catch the same bull again?
Well, if it's the same as your fishing expertise, it's very possible.
Listen.
1 minute. All right,
So we have
let's-
1 minute, folks.
wanna
If
thank
you're an animal
everybody.
rights activist, I love animals.
Right.
He got a second chance. I think since the cops seem to be having to do this a lot, they should issue them. What are those things that
I don't know.
matadors have?
The
cape?
cape.
Bullfighter capes. I think the ESU cops
Right,
maybe
and-
should get
and-
that.
and a
I'm
rodeo
surprised they
clown.
didn't
And a
just
rodeo.
shoot at the
And a
bull.
rodeo
That
clown.
was-
John wrote, "It's in Pat's meatballs." Talking about the, bull.
Oh, the bull.
Bull, yeah.
So the bull
a little late,
escaped.
John, but that's
Have
good.
you ever encountered that as a police officer, Frank?
An actual bull, no. I've encountered a lot of bull, but not an actual bull.
Any animals that escaped?
Uh,
Any livestock?
no, I worked in Chinatown, so
Did
the
you
cats,
trap a roach
the
ever?
cats
like a
never got
water
out
bug?
in Chinatown, believe it or not.
Okay.
And,
Oh, you were trying
So
to.
let's just, we got to wrap up. 'cause
So
we haven't-
congratulations
All
to
right.
the bull. I'm glad you're living a good
thanks
life.
again to Arthur Lee. Don't forget to buy your life vac, save a life, to be your own.
And congratulations
See you
to
next
you and I
week,
for being the best host and co-host.
Thank you,
Halloween.
Steve
Yes,
We're going to
Schlesinger.
self-congratulate.
You were terrific.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Steve
Steve.
Schlesinger.
That was the
for
best
calling.
Leather
social media
gloves,
guy.
Thank you.
slapping in hands, popcorn and peanuts. We're working the stands, pink cotton candy. The love on a stick was chasing the beer. The trick of the lips, play ball, play ball.